Although on the build up to this, I wasn't too invested. I did no prediction videos, no build up videos. I didn't think there was much of a buzz for this event. But what a night of boxing. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. So, a big night of boxing down at the Tottenham Stadium, my hometown, where I was brought up, only a mile away from there. Conor Benn faced Chris Eubank Jr. in a massive rematch. So look, I'm going to talk to you about the build-up first, the other fights. We'll go through them, possibly in chronological order, and then we'll end up with a big fight at the end. So look, Richard Riakporhe versus Welch. A second generation. Welch is a second generation fighter. I thought I recognised that name when I was seeing the build up and that, and Riakporhe fighting a dude called Welch. I can't remember his first name, but I know his father was a former heavyweight, because I do remember him. Well, it's a quick show, innit? Quick showing. Riakporhe up at heavyweight, 6'5", built like a brick-ish house. Riakporhe, he's an absolute physical specimen, standing at 6'5", 230 pounds. Regarded as a smaller heavyweight for today, right? Because some of these guys are slightly bigger than. When you look aesthetically, look at Richard Riakporhe, he looks like an animal. It's a great knockout, great knockdown. I don't think Welch should have really been in there with him. I think Riakporhe's levels above. I need to see Riakporhe fight another heavyweight fight with a known heavyweight. He needs a recognised heavyweight to push himself up there. He's 35 years old. Time waits for no man. He ain't got no time left. He should be looking to fight at least 3 to 4 times next year, if they're not major fights. If they're like build-up fights, he should be fighting regularly. Keep his name in the public. Okay. Azim. I don't remember the opponent's name. Strange. One of Devin Haney's boys. Everyone keeps calling him Devin Haney's boy. That's why I didn't pick up on his name. It's just come to my mind. I know a surname. Scooby, Suey, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, Azim, quality fighter. Quality. I can't wait till he mixes it up with all the other 147-pound fighters. He's at 147, I believe. No, 140. He's at 140. I can't wait for him to move up to 147 and start mixing up with some of those guys at 147. And maybe the Americans, basically. Haney's, the Garcias, and stuff like that. Azim is a special talent. Very special talent. Fast hands. I wasn't too big on him at first. You know, I wasn't too big of what I was seeing at first. Now, I've got to respect the skills. I've seen very sharp, good puncher, good power, good fundamentals. Hopefully, we can see some good things with Azim in the future. He took the victory very well. Went down to the later rounds. I thought he was going to start. I thought it was going to be a quicker fight. Shout out to his opponent, though, Devin Haney's boy, whatever his name is. He did all right, man. He did all right. You know, listen, he threw down. The skill level was... there was levels, man, but he still came to fight, and he still, put in a show and tried to entertain the crowd. He never tried to come and pick up a paycheck and just walk away, So shout out to him, respect to him for that fight. Next one was the Esiman versus Jack Catterall. Now, Jack Catterall's a fighter that I believe Jack Catterall's a world-class fighter, right? But I just think that he's missing something. And Bozy Innes, he's gone over to Philadelphia with Bozy Innes, Jerome Boots Innes' father. He had a choice whether Bozy Innes or Bomac. He chose Bozy Innes. Possibly because Jerome is a similar weight class to him, and he probably thought he could get some work with Jerome. I didn't see the early rounds, but I came in, I went out to go and get some food. So, I came back in and I saw that it was a bust up between those two guys, and, everyone was praising Catterall, saying Catterall's doing a job on Esiman. So I might have to go back and watch the earlier rounds. It looked like it was a good fight earlier on. But Esiman, nicknamed the Engine, not for no reason. He came back into that fight, steamrolled his way back into the fight. He was blooded. His eye was busted up, but he still gritted on. This is the thing. This is what Turkey likes. And this is what our boxing fans like. Somebody who doesn't want to quit, really. Sometimes we've got to save boxers from themselves because of, the determination and the ego of these fighters. They don't want to go out. They want to go out on their shield. They don't want to be seen as anyone, to not put in the effort. So like, Echo Esiman came into the fight towards the end. I was looking, thinking, Jack Catterall, what have you done again? You're great lead, and you're now giving it away again. What's this dude doing? He's gone. One of the commentators said Jack Catterall's reverted back to type, and yeah, he kind of did. Bit of a horrible style he used to fight with. So I'm interested to see what he was doing early, because people were very impressed of what he was doing early, and I didn't really see it. But he came with the victory, and it was a controversial victory. I'm going to be interested to see what other content creators and what you guys in the comments are going to say about this, because it was a bit of a controversial finish to the end. And you can see that Jack Catterall was pretty. He was a bit emotional about it. You can see Esiman needed a bit of some oxygen to revive himself. He looked like he was in a bit of a bad way in the beginning, and eventually got to his feet, and he was okay. But a bit of a controversial stoppage there. The referee said break. Allegedly, Esiman braked. Catterall continued, knocked down Esiman. Esiman put his hands out, say, "What the F was that?" Esiman got to his feet. Referee gave him a dust off and said to him, "No, there was no knockdown," and restarted the fight. Personally, if it was me and I had a choice and I was the referee and I see that happen, I called break and then someone got knocked down, I would have been like, right, let's hold this for a minute. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to recover because you got knocked down. I asked to break, you put your hands down, you stopped defending yourself. Well, you shouldn't stop defending yourself, really, because, in the sport of boxing, you've got to defend yourself at all times. But the referee shouts break, you still got to defend yourself, man. So I don't know about this one. You don't just leave your hands down, you just break, you just stop fighting, basically, and let the referee pull you apart. Anyway, Jack Esiman got up and then, the thing that we all feared was if Catterall stops him right now, it's going to be a controversial stoppage, and he did just that. And it was a controversial stoppage. So, anyway, look, the final fight. The end game. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn came in looking lively with his father, Nigel, and his team, Tony Sims, the Essex boys, and all of that. They came in, they looked like they were ready for war in there, right? So they came in to the ring, and Chris left them waiting for a little while, and everyone was like, well, this is typical. He wants to unsettle his opponent. Then all of a sudden, what do we see? Curtis Jackson step out of the limelight. We're like, whoa, who's this? I was like, what's going on? 50 Cent comes out singing Many Men. But anyway, walks out, Chris Sr., Chris Jr., and Curtis Jackson. All three of them walk out. I was like, wow, I was not expecting this. Both Eubanks had that cheesy grin on their face. 50 Cent's got a cheesy grin as well. So I was just like, oh man, this is like, this is like, I never expected this. Chris always comes out to Dr. Dre, in the beginning, when he comes out for his fight. So, it makes sense. Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Aftermath, G Unit Records. So, anyway, he got brought out, came out, great ring walk. It was evident from the first round something was wrong with Chris. I'm not taking nothing away from Conor on this one, because Conor came away with a victory and he fought an excellent fight. Excellent fight. He was much different from the first fight. He was more controlled, more reserved. He didn't let everything go straight away. He held back on his shots until the right time. He wasn't trying to get greedy in there. When he was fighting on the inside, he would pick his punches, maybe a 2, 3, 4 punch combination, and he'll get out of there. And then he'll move around, he'll go for Chris's body. It was ultimately the body. He was attacking Chris's body. And you can see Chris was visibly disturbed by these body punches that Conor was putting on him. And there were spurts and moments where Chris fought back, but you could see there was no pop in his punch. There was no power in Chris's punch. No pop in his punch. And Conor was eating everything. There was a point in the mid-rounds where Chris let his hands go and caught Conor a good few times. You can see there was a good cheesy grin on Eubank's face, but it just did not concern Conor. Conor just walked through. He ate them all for lunch. And eventually, ultimately, you could see he was getting to Chris to the point where Chris's legs were going. And then right near the end, he drops Chris twice. The legs were gone. Personally, I'm not going to put the victory. I mean, look, you can see he was weight drained. 160, not being able to hydrate more than 10 pounds. It destroyed him in this fight. And we can see now, ultimately see what Chris Eubank Sr. was saying. Some of you people who are having a go at Chris Eubank Sr., oh, this, is that, he's moaning, and his son picked the fight, let him just do it. Now you can see why. Look, Chris was a shadow, man. Shadow. His legs were gone towards the end. No pop in his punch. He looked like an old man out there. And I believe that was all down to this hydration, you know. But Chris took it like a man. Took it on the chin. He respected Conor, gave Conor his respect, gave him his flowers, shook Nigel's hand, and let them, you know, gracefully go off with their victory. And Conor, I mean, you can see the two guys that they don't like. They never liked each other in the beginning. They never liked each other, Conor and Chris. It was no plaything. The two fathers had animosity. The sons had animosity. But now you can see the two guys respect each other. They might not be the best of friends going down, but you can see they respect each other. And I can see 20 years down the line, these two guys coming together like their fathers, and, you know, shaking hands and saying what a lot of money we made off the public, the boxing public. Chris is expecting 2 twins. Conor's already got a son. 25 years time from now. I'll be an old man, but, you know, I think the fathers will be even older. Who knows, we might just see a continuation to the Ben Eubank saga. Enough said. Smash the like button, hit the bell for notifications to get all the new and latest videos.